Okay, no reason to make y'all wait any longer for 22-3. I did want my head start. I kind of wanted to finish first, but I haven't had a whole lot of chances to try or put a whole lot of effort into trying really 22-4 because it's pretty much power check and way out of my reach, it seems like. And it's like most Dash 4 levels, it's a castle with 8 units in it, so there's not a whole lot of room for me to strategize and try and overcome my lack of power. And it's not only incredibly difficult, but it's also incredibly anticlimactic after how interesting and well designed I think the 22-3 levels are, which I did on January 9th here, another global first. And I did it with like 8.2 million power per group, which is, I think, I'd assume pretty low. I don't have anything to compare it to, but I'm assuming that it's generally going to take more than that. Although that's also lower because on 22-3 here, as you'll see, or you probably already have if you're watching this video, you only get to bring 2 units, and not ranged or caster units. You're fighting Crag Hack. So these guys hit hard and get lifesteal when he ults. They hit hard all the time. And there's a Black Dragon there, so that's going to throw a wrench in any plans for Zydar kiting through firewall type shenanigans or Solomir nuking. Also, the other option you think of with all melee is crowd control, of course. You can't see it from here, but there's a row of portals directly in front of that back row, so they instantly at the beginning of the fight teleport to behind you and you're surrounded. Presumably that's to prevent you from throwing Adelaide Ice Wall up right at the start and just instantly locking them all up. So it says 1 man against 10,000 or something is the clue. Maybe, presumably someday someone will be able to beat these guys with the 1 man or even the 2 men. But as of right now, it's basically about your backup units. But to get your backup units to show up, you need to survive 25 seconds. And they will still proc if somehow you manage to keep both your guys alive. No one actually has to die to proc them if you only bring 2 units. You just have to wait 25 seconds. And really, after 15 seconds, your Azure Dragon, someone will show up. That'll buy you a little more time to get there. And by there, I just mean getting your backup units. You still got a ways to go. But so my first thought in this scenario where, okay, I need to survive against a huge horde of hard-hitting mofos is Mafala, who has a lot of interesting utility, and I have 4-star marked, of course. And I was able to relatively easily actually get the backup units to proc Mafala. The issue with her, as it is often with her, is that you can't actually really kill anything. You don't have any damage spells, you don't have any buffing spells for your units. So I went with Ciele because, as you may have seen in my other video, which actually isn't uploaded yet, I'm working on them simultaneously, but she's the best crowd control hero in the game. So, might as well get a run going while I'm yammering on here. Earth Elemental and Basilisk, both obviously either stun or petrify and kill. That's good crowd control. And the Earth Elemental in particular, because they split into smaller little units, can survive longer. We're just trying to stay alive again. Particularly right here in the very beginning, so you don't just instantly end, because the first petrify causes Earth Elemental to spawn a little extra guy right away. I have petrify marked, as you can see. My backup units are Angel, Ice Elemental, because it makes Ciele not just a great crowd control hero, but the best. Got to speed it up here. Now we've got them all locked down. It's about keeping them stunned. And they hit hard, so you got to keep them stunned. Angel obviously provides a res and vulnerability, as well as being an offensive unit for defense shredding. And the Black Knight is for damage, and his damage will increase significantly as he gets kills. Because you don't actually target the non-marked petrify, sometimes a unit will get loose. You want to use your Earth Arrow for that. You'll see here the enemy Dark Knight does that and is about to chop my Dark Knight. I'm going to slow it down just for a second. No fucking way. Best laid plans of mice and men, right? Well, I actually did beat it that way. The first time I beat it first that way, although I used Behemoth instead of Basilisk, but then I needed Behemoth for Darkside. But what kept happening, and I tried this a lot of times, usually unless somehow it was lined up that I got on the Black Dragon early, um, I would successfully be able to crowd control them all to the end and not be able to kill the Black Dragon. So I ditched the Marked Petrify for Rush Tactic, and I ditched Ice Elemental. Not that Ice Elemental was a problem, but instead of the magic damage boost from that backup, I went with the, I think it's crit from the attack and 2 chargers, and the Bone Dragon I brought because it's 3-star Wake for the defense shredding, and Manticore for the defense reduction and the decent damage and DRR. It was harder to crowd control him, obviously, but I was getting pretty sick of not being able to kill that Black Dragon. Or once in a while I'd kill it, but then, I'd mess up the crowd control. It doesn't take much to mess up the crowd control when you only have 3 units and Angel's Condemns hit like that, right? But I didn't just include that failed run because it was kind of funny, but I'm sure a lot of people trying this will have more power and hit harder than me, and all that crowd control is a lot easier. So finally I got it like this. Well, I had beaten it first, but I finally, after figuring out Dark Side and coming back to try and repeat Light Side so many times, yeah, real frustrating because I got lucky. It was easy the first time. So Dark Side, there's a wall. Only flying units can go over it. I'm going to do most of my damage with the Bone Dragon and Manticore and Angel. And by most, I mean basically all of it, actually. The Griffin boosts all flyers. The Lich boosts Bone Dragon. The Archmage is boosting the Bone Dragon and the Manticores. The Behemoth obviously can't fly, but he can still tank. And these bad boys hit hard, even though there's only 4 of them. No matter how much mana suppression I used, I could not get this DM to delay her ult. I don't know if it's even possible. You'll notice that I actually ult during the stun. And because I want to have my next frenzy up, be able to use it before DM stuns me again. Because the real pain, as it often is in this level, is killing the Black Dragon. That's why I'm using my Black Dragon, actually. I was using just a ranged air and baiting the Black Dragon over the wall, trying to come at him with backup troops that didn't fly. And I actually got pretty close that way a couple times. The problem with that is then you're killing the Black Dragon last after you kill the Firebird the first time. So then the Firebird reses, and it will literally kill your entire fucking team because they're standing right there fighting the Black Dragon, and he just roasts them all in one hit. I tried using really squishy suicide bait then to get the Black Dragon to go down farther, so I wasn't fighting him in range of the Firebird. But ultimately, it worked best for me to kill the Black Dragon before even killing the Firebird the first time. And to do that, in order to get them to target him, he needs to be far enough back, so you need to use a flying tank. Or at least you do for this strategy. You may have noticed the Archmage earlier, Whirlwind, the Firebird as well. That's another handy thing about there only being 4 of them, is crowd control is more likely to land on them, like the Archmage Whirlwind or, say, a Beholder Mind Control. Ice Elemental would have been really good on this level. I wanted to use him, but I didn't because at that time, I thought I needed him for Light Side, or her, or whatever. I don't know, do ice people even have gender? She looks, I guess she's... In any case, I ended up not using Ice Elemental, so that might be a pretty valid strategy for this side as well. Although Light Side is way easier to crowd control with Ice Elemental, and how I did it the very first time, but it takes a lot of tries. Killing the Black Dragon over there is a pain too, just like it is here, just like it is everywhere. And this one would not have gone down without the Bone Dragon being 3-star woke and proccing Debilitating Strike, I think is what his Crushing Blow is called when it does the defense reduction. But in the end, I managed to do both of them, and to do so before anyone else. I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit here. But 22-4 I haven't done yet. It's basically just a really hard power check. I probably won't get first on that. Hopefully I someday release more TOA levels, but as of right now, it's over. Thanks for watching. I hope it helps.